what is up? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Gabby. It is so great to have you. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a Q&A. So I asked you guys on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram for questions that I'm going to answer in this video. So if you want to see all of the questions and if I answer yours, then just keep on watching. All right, the first question I have here is from Love Shack Mania, and they ask, when did you become a Lululemon educator? So I started at Lululemon in July of last year, so 2021. So I've been an educator for a little bit over a year, and if you don't know what an educator is, it's basically just Lululemon's fancy word of retail employee. So we're the ones on the floor helping you out, find a product, educating you on the different garments and stuff, helping you in fits, at cash, whatever it might be. That's basically why we're called an educators, because we're educating on Lululemon's product. The next question I have here is from G Lopez 84, and back to school must-haves. Now, I'm not sure if you meant back to school must-haves from Lululemon or just in general, so I'm gonna start out with just in general. I would say probably a good backpack, whatever that might be for you, whatever that looks like. I love the Lululemon everyday backpack, but whatever fits your needs, I would say a really great backpack. Sweet shoes, whatever also that might be. I love my Nike Air Force One, something super basic and simple that's gonna get you through majority of the season, and that's something more like neutral and fashionable, if you know what I mean. And the third thing I would say is a good jacket. Well, depending on where you live. For me, it would be a good jacket. It is winter here for a majority of our school year, so I would always say buying a good like winter fall jacket is an essential. But I guess if you live in California or something warmer, you may not experience as much temperature differences. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe like a cute stylish little layering piece for when it does get colder out. But I would say that would be my three like general back to school must-haves. When it comes to supplies, obviously great pens, notebooks, and maybe something to do your notes on, whether that be like a laptop, iPad, or something like that. I feel like is now increasingly more essential, but I wouldn't necessarily say you have to go buy a new one for it. If you already have one that works, then fantastic. And now moving to Lululemon must-haves, I would say Wonder Train leggings are going to be the most versatile. They're not going to pill on you. They are going to feel a little bit more like a hug sensation, but I feel like they're still like really neutral, that you could like dress up if you wanted to, wear a little bit of a more put together outfit, or wear it super casually. And I would also say a scuba hoodie, either a full zip or a half zip. Again, I absolutely love the scubas. I would say that would be my back to school essentials. All right, switching it up here, JK McKay asks, what are your top apps, programs you use as a content creator? For me personally, I just use the iMovie on my MacBook and on my Mac. So I use the built-in iMovie app, which seems to be working fine. I'd love to upgrade to Final Cut Pro one day, but iMovie is working great. So that's probably my most used app, honestly. My other one would be Lightroom on mobile here. I use this to edit my YouTube thumbnails and photos. And then I also love Lens Buddy. So this is what I use to take my Instagram photos as well. It's a little camera timer app. So I think that's like really useful. So I'll have like my tripod, and then I'll use this app to automatically take photos for me instead of automatically resetting it. So that would probably be my top apps that I use as a creator. The other ones that I do like to use on a semi-occasional basis would be Plan, to plan my Instagram feed, and I save hashtags in there as well. And then I also love my camera Canon Connect, so that connects to my camera here, and then I can see that and take pictures if I want to use my DSLR type of camera. But normally I just use my iPhone because it's a easier setup to use. But those would be definitely my top apps. I also love Canva, not really an app but more of a website. They do have an app, I just find it kind of hard to use, but I use Canva for all my overlays, my thumbnails, text, so many things. Absolutely love Canva. I do have Canva Pro, and I do think it's worth spending the money as a content creator to upgrade to Pro. It just gives you so many more options than the free version. I made the free version work for like the first first 6 months that I started as a content creator, so it's totally doable. That is my top apps and programs I use. Okay, the next question I have here is from Janesi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Riley. What are your top 3 Lululemon items of all time? Now, this is really hard to choose because I have so many Lululemon items that I absolutely love, but I guess if I had to choose 3, then this is what I would choose, and I actually have them all right here with me. So the first thing, this is not in any particular order, I don't think, they're all like tied for favorite items right now, is the Align high neck tank. I absolutely love this one. It is a C to D cup support, light support tank top, but for me, even as a small chested person, it still works. I love the silhouette that this gives. It has a straight strapped kind of backing to it, which I absolutely love, and I just feel like you could definitely dress this up. You could wear this with many different pieces and it looks casual but dressy, like put together, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It also has a built-in bra as well, so that's, you know, super easy. You just throw this on and go. This is the pink taupe color, but I have so many more of these. Absolutely love them, and if I had to get rid of all of my other tops, I would probably like want to keep this one out of all of them. Tops, I would say the Align high neck tank. Also, the scuba hoodies, I absolutely love these. I was super late to the game on the scubas, but I do feel like this is a great staple to have in your closet. This color in particular is my #1 favorite. I would highly recommend picking this one up if you're looking for a neutral that is kind of timeless and that's going to act as a staple in your wardrobe. Like I said, it really goes with everything. This is my most worn scuba for sure. I have 10 scubas, and I don't know, I think this one is probably the most practical, so if I had to get rid of all the other ones, I'd be keeping this one. That is the next item, and the last one is a staple pair of black Aligns. I know that these ones do pill very easily, but I just love the feeling of them. I would maybe suggest Wonder Trains as a longevity standpoint. If I was to get rid of all of my leggings, I'd probably opt for a Wonder Train just because you're gonna get more bang for your buck there, but I do love the Align feeling. It's buttery soft, lightweight, so comfortable, and I feel like you can't go wrong with a staple black pair of leggings. That would be my top 3 items from Lululemon. Taylor Grossette asked, can you do another haul of everything you own? Now, let me tell you something. These collection videos take a very long time to film and edit because I do have a lot of items in my closet for sure, and to bring them all out, film with them, and put them all away definitely takes a lot of time, and I feel like my collection gets outdated very, very quickly, as you can tell from my monthly hauls, but if you haven't seen those, go check them out. But yeah, I feel like I just did one. I know it's kind of a few months ago and my closet's definitely very outdated. I will probably do one in the near future, so keep your eyes out for that. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. But yeah, keep your eyes out. Might have to do an updated one very soon. All right, Mr. Nobody asks, guys wear women's leggings, Align, Wonder Unders, etc. Yes, absolutely. We have lots of guys looking for more compression tights. Come over to the women's section, grab a pair of tights from there. I feel like the Base Pace Fast and Freeze are probably the more popular items for men in the women's collection, but absolutely for sure the Aligns and the Wonder Trains are something that you can wear. And even for the ladies going to the men's collection, the Surge joggers, the City Sweat line, there's some of the men's sweaters that are super nice, and their button-ups. I have a commissioned long sleeve shirt from the men's section. Really, the whole store is gender neutral. Like, even though there's a women's side and a men's side, feel free to shop the whole store because I feel like you would be surprised about the items in the other section working well for you. So definitely give that a try. I've had lots of guys also come over and do Swiftleys instead of the metal vent, and you'll just have to kind of play around with sizing to see what fit you like the best. But absolutely for sure, guys wear men's leggings, girls wear men's joggers, and you know, it works, and I feel like you can't really tell a difference. So Lululemon is Lululemon. All right, Allison Falk asks, if you didn't work at Lululemon, where would you like to work? I think if I wasn't working at Lululemon or doing my content creation here on YouTube, I think I'd really like to get into like event planning, probably using more of my PR degree. We do have like event type agencies where I live that maybe I could work in some fashion. I don't know if that would be necessarily doing public relations or doing more of that event side planning, but that was definitely one of my avenues that I was exploring before I kind of got into content creation. So probably something in events and planning, stuff like that. The next question I have here is from Laura. What are some of your favorite stores to shop at besides Lululemon? And to be honest, I primarily shop at Lululemon because I live in the clothes and I work there, so it kind of just makes sense. But if I need to shop for clothes other than Lululemon, I'm probably hitting up Aritzia, H&M, or Abercrombie. So those would be my top 3. H&M men's collection sweaters. I get questions about them all the time. They're that little basic crew neck. Absolutely love them. They're super cheap and they, you know, are super comfy and timeless, so highly recommend those. Aritzia, I love to get a few more like put together fashionable pieces, and I recently just got onto Abercrombie jeans as well. 10 out of 10 recommend. I love the fit and feel of them, and honestly I don't say that very often because I pretty much hate jeans, so definitely recommend checking them out if you haven't already. So those would be my top other places I would shop other than Lululemon. All right, the next question I have here is from Bernadette, and they ask, do you think we will get a half zip in Sonic Pink? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't really know any insider information on whether that would ever come to fruition. I know that so many people are hoping for a Sonic Pink scuba in some fashion. However, I feel like Sonic Pink has been around for a long time, so if we haven't seen it yet, my hopes are, you know, slowly dimming in the distance. But, you know, can't rule it out until we know for sure that maybe scubas one day are not a thing and they discontinue the line completely. But for now, I honestly don't know. Maybe. Slim chance. All right, this next question I really like. So Jamil asked, what led you to a career in content creation on social media, and why Lululemon or fashion in general? So I basically grew up watching YouTube videos, if you remember, like Steal a Babe 09, Mac, what was Alicia's? Mac Baby something. I like grew up watching Bethany Moda, Meredith Foster, Alicia, Lindsay Hughes, so many of those creators, and I absolutely loved the idea of videography and makeup and beauty and stuff. But I never actually got into it. I always just kind of pushed it aside. I grew up in a very small town too, so if I started a YouTube channel or social media, something like that, in that era, I would definitely be very made fun of, and I didn't really want that because I was already kind of on the outsides anyways. So I always had that dream, and I really wanted to be like in acting and in film. So that was always like a dream there. So I did end up going into PR and stuff, which is communications, public relations. And I worked in there for a little bit and really loved kind of the event planning side that I already mentioned. But then with the kind of downturn in the economy and COVID-19, obviously things shifted, and I thought this was a really great time to do that content creation piece as a side hustle. I've always wanted to kind of get into it, and I really saw more smaller creators, you know, starting to make it as a career, and that's what really motivated me, I think, in particular. And Lululemon was a topic that I absolutely loved and could talk about forever. So I think that was one of the main pieces of advice that, you know, people gave as if you wanted to start a YouTube channel in 2019 kind of thing, is start it on something that you can talk about forever, and that was Lululemon for me at the time. And I think Lululemon as a brand was just really starting to like take off on social media. It's always been around and it's always been popular, but I really feel like the hype for it started to build during that period. So I guess that's kind of what started. I always, again, had an affinity for videography and like photography in a way, but I never really like acted on it. I thought this was a great time to give that a chance and see where it led, and honestly I am so thankful that I did, and I absolutely love being able to create content and do this stuff for you guys. So that's kind of where that started, but definitely being heavily influenced watching YouTube growing up and seeing kind of social media take off, as that's really where, you know, social media started, is like when I was a preteen teenager, and that really kind of took off and blew up. So I always wanted to explore it. Okay, Carrie asked, what are your thoughts on the perfectly oversized crew? Worth the money or not? And if I'm gonna be honest, it's not worth the money. I honestly really don't like the perfectly oversized crews from Lululemon, sorry. But I just don't like the French terry material of it. It feels like a towel to me, and that's not something I want to be cozy and wrapped up in. So like I said before, those H&M crew neck sweaters from the men's section are where it's at. I swear by those. I wear them to work and people are like, oh, is this from here? Where can I find that? I'm like, no, it's actually from H&M. Sorry. And it's way more like fuzzier on the inside, more fleecy, so highly recommend checking those ones out, and it's a fraction of the price. You could literally buy like 10 of those H&M crew neck sweaters for one perfectly oversized crew from Lululemon. To be honest, I'm not going to take Lululemon's side on this one, and I think there's better crew necks out there that are going to be more comfy and fleecy. But the like scuba line, like scuba hoodies, that I really like, so anything fleecy. Not really a fan of the French terry material. All right, this next question I have here, any countries or cities that are on your bucket list to travel? I feel like travel has not been the utmost priority for me, so I would love to make it more of a priority one day and really be able to travel, but I don't know, I just never grew up traveling a whole bunch, so it's not really in my like interest, like foreseeable interest, if that makes sense. But I would love to still visit more of Europe. I would like just to experience Europe, France and Italy in particular, mostly for like the food and culture kind of thing. I would also love to kind of explore Asia, maybe Japan or Vietnam. Again, mostly for like the food and culture aspect of it, but I think those would be like my top bucket list cities. I'd love to see more of the US too, because it's really close. Things like New York, I would love to visit Florida, I'd love to visit Vegas, just, you know, to experience Vegas and, you know, all the craziness there. I don't know if I have like anything like super pressing that I would love to go to. I'd love to go to Tulum in Mexico, or Tulum, I'm not sure how you correctly pronounce it. If anyone wants to let me know down below in the comments, but that's always been on my bucket list, I think, for like tropical vacation destinations. And that kind of ties into the last question, is if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? I would love to go to the Maldives as like a one-off trip. I absolutely think it's beautiful. Aspen and Parker went there for their like honeymoon and a few different times, and that's where I fell in love with it. I just love the beautiful turquoise waters, and I think it would be a really fun experience to go to the Maldives. I know it's super hard to get there. I would also love to go to Atlantis. I know that's also kind of superficial, but like it looks bomb. And I would also love to go to Disneyland or Disney World at some point. So that's kind of all on my travel bucket list, as one day, maybe in the long distant future. Maybe it's something I will do with my kids whenever that happens, but that is probably where I would like to travel to most. That is going to be all the questions I have for you today. Thank you to everyone who asked me questions on social media. If I didn't answer yours, be sure to leave them down below in the comments so that I can answer them for the next Q&A I did. I really love doing these. They're super fun, very casual form of video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. But with that, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!